Earthly Mother, thank you. Thank you for the overstanding you gave me just a few minutes ago about some spiritual things that I can share with my brethren. Thank you for what you do me to read from the book of Ben in the OAHSPE Bible. Thank you because it blessed my soul something crazy. Sometimes reading this word, your word, it is so good that I avoid reading it because I know it's going to make me scream for joy of heart. And you never want that feeling to leave you. Thank you, Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother. Thank you, Jehovah. Welcome to my channel. My name is Yaquab Israel, and thank you for joining me for my channel where I love, man, I love to share the light, the word, my life of the Creator. I hope that I can resonate with you brethren who looking at my videos. I hope that my way of speaking, my way of describing things, my imperfections, that you'll be able to deal with. And I hope that I'm able to encourage you, to bless you, to help you see a brother like me who is like you. I have ups and downs. I'm afflicted. I'm waiting on the kingdom just like you are. I don't claim to know everything. I just know I have the same spirit within me that's in you that wants to follow the Heavenly Father, wants to find Him, wants to live with His people, knows in His spirit that the Heavenly Father is my Father, our Father who art in heaven. And like any parent or mother in the whole universe and the history, man only want the absolute best for their children, which is the creation, which are mankind, men and women, are the children of God. Some righteous, some in rebellion, but eventually all will submit to the Heavenly Father. I think that it's a process, and some brethren, children, they get it quicker than others. But I think that those who don't get what the Creator's doing right now, basically pulling His children out of religion, I think eventually all mankind, all children, all anybody is going to get pulled out of deity idolatry and are going to realize the kingdom of the Heavenly Father according to the elevation of our spirit. Now, again, welcome to my channel. Let me go ahead and acknowledge angels of the daytime and angels of the evening found in this book right here, the Esteemed Gospel of Peace. Oh, you know what? Let me do something real quick here. Let me let me see. How can I do this? Go here, all right, and then put the link in the description area so that if anybody comes in, you can, if you have something you want to share, anything you want to say, that you can just hit the link and you can come in and join me because I want you to. I'm going to be doing my lives on StreamYard. I want to make it interactive. I'll talk about it when I get finished with the monologue first. Let me do the monologue first, and then I get to the video. Now, here's where I like to acknowledge the angels of the daytime and angels of the evening. The Esteemed Gospel of Peace book for the teachings of the elect. If you can receive it, that is. If it's a stumbling block to you, then I don't want it to be a stumbling block to you. But the angels of the daytime and angels of the evening, and today being Wednesday rising will be the angel of water. So let's find the angel of water so we can acknowledge the angel of water for all the water does to us. And on the sixth rising after Sabbath, say these words. We're going to say these three times together on three. Okay? Three times together on three. Ready? One, two, three. Angel of water, enter my blood and give the water of life to my body. Again, one, two, three. Angel of water, enter my blood and give the water of life to my body. One more time. Angel of, one, two, three. Angel of water, enter my blood and give the water of life to my body. And we read, and you will feel like the rushing current of the river, the power of the angel of water. Enter your blood like the rivulets of the stream. Send the power of the earthly mother through your blood to all the parts of your body. And it shall be for healing, for the power of the angel of water is very great. When you speak to her, she will send her power wherever you command for. When the angel of God dwell within the Son of Man, then are all, or Son of Man, all things are possible. So angel of water, dwell within my body, give life to my body and healing of all my imperfections. I send you into all of my body, everywhere, angel of water. And I thank you at the time for the wonders and the miracles and the healing that you're going to provide to me. I thank you. And this evening is going to be the angel of love. The angel of love. So let's find the angel of love where it says, and on the fifth evening after the Sabbath, fifth evening after Sabbath. Now I got to change that because I'm going to start. Well, shoot, I got to think about it, because talking to the brother the other day, brother Cal, and him, the overstanding, the correction that he gave me on the Sabbath. You know how the Sabbath is. Um, well, forget it. I let me chew on it later. Not right now. I'll deal with that bridge when I get to it. Anyway, let's say this three times together on three. Okay, three times together on three. Ready? One, two, three. Angel love will sit on me and fill with love all my feelings. Again, one, two, three. Angel love to sit on me and fill love all my feelings. And one more time. One, two, three. Angel love to sit on me and fill with love all my feelings. For I love that the Heavenly Father and the earthly mother and the Son of Man become one. Now I'm reading this and I see something that's just been revealed to me. Now we're communing with the angels, and it says in the fifth evening after Sabbath Sabbath word. And one thing I'm learning, one thing I'm understanding is I was reading the Colburn Bible. I was minded to share some things from the Colburn Bible, and then I realized they didn't have the understanding that we have, the sharpening that we have had, the sons and daughters who take this in this time of life. So you have to kind of pick and choose when you read different spiritual books because you have to realize they didn't have the spiritual understanding that we have in this day and age who face this. And I realized that when I was reading the Culver Bible, because it talked about warfare, it talked about eating of flesh, and I chalked it up to they didn't have the understanding that we have now about the Creator. I think we have been given a more perfect understanding revelation of the Creator. Now that I'm reading this, the Unseen Gospel of Peace, and it says, for it is by love that the Heavenly Father and the earthly mother and the Son of Man become one. And I'm looking at this, I'm saying, this, I don't know about this. It should be because the Creator, He has many sons. He has many sons. And it doesn't really in the OAHSPE talk a lot about the earthly mother. So here I have to examine. Now I think that they exist. The Heavenly Father, meaning the Creator, and the earthly mother, because it's in spiritual literature. And it should be the sons of man become one. But you see what I mean? I mean, it's like the OAHSPE in the Third Testament have really opened my eyes since I've been set free. I've witnessed an explosion in overstanding, a real explosion, And I find a weakness in my overstanding about the details, the weeds of the thing, the nitty gritty, and other brethren are gifted in that area. So, see, we have to come together. We have to come together. I find it kind of a harshness in um, some brethren, but a elevated overstanding in other things. It's like I seem to personally the things that jump out at me is a man's character. I seem to look right at that to help me to understand the amount of weight I should give his words. Now, the words we have a lot of weight so far as the veracity of them, truthfulness of them. The stumbling block can come in the man's character. In a man's character, I think that as you grow older, I'm in my early 60s, you see things like that. The older brethren see that in the younger brethren. The thing that younger brethren can learn from older brethren is more things of respecting the Creator, honoring the Creator, humbling yourself before the Creator. Because I think that knowledge and the minds and the spirit of a lot of young brethren, they just get proud as hell, man. You know, they kind of just love to use it to elevate themselves over their brethren. And to me, that's a terrible thing. It's so sad to see it because I think the faith is way more than that. If we're going to be a community of brethren, man, we're going to be really looking at our brethren as we are looking at the Creator in the sense that showing respect, humbling ourselves, deferring to our brethren, not trying to rule and dominate over our brethren. I think that one of the eternal flaws of mankind is number one, he has to wait until he matures before he learns a lot of things. I think that he has natural proclivity to rule over his brothers that he better watch out for because we tend to forget the Creator, that we tend to forget we don't have not a single stinking thing that wasn't given to us. And man loves to forget that he used to be crawling on all fours, didn't even know how to walk. And then he gets a little elevated in his understanding and he thinks that he can rule over God. He thinks to actually become equal with the Creator, man. I see that quicker than anything in faithful and unfaithful brethren. Wanting to just feel like you can become equals with the Creator. And then when you become equals with the Creator, then you become greater than the Creator if you had a chance. That's why I love reading what I read from the Gospel or the Book of Ben, the OAHSPE Bible. I just love it. I can see what the Creator is doing. He answers your questions, but he still leaves you hanging. But he gives you enough to satisfy you. Let me finish the acknowledgement of the angel of the evening, which is the angel of love, where we read, "Send on me, fill me with love, fill with love all my feelings." We said that. So in the reading, I was pointing out about Heavenly Father, the Mother, and the Son becoming one, and realizing the Heavenly Father, the Creator God, He has many sons, you know, and it just points out when you read the importance of being able to read like the Bible and things like this, read it from a faithless point of view. That will save you a lot of trouble. And here I'm pointing out the Son as one when there, and that will lead you back to Jesus Christ. That's the problem. There are many sons theologically tells you about. And this is something that you can excuse it in your mind, but it could lead you to deity worship. It could lead you to Jesus Christ as the one to be worshipped. Now, even though Jesus Christ says there's only one church, but the Father, people can quickly forget that. They'll quickly forget that and worship Jesus Christ. And then reason that, hey, it's okay, man, ain't no thing. Let me read this because wait till you hear what I got to tell you. It says, love is eternal, love is stronger than death. And every night should the sun delight, bathe in the holy water, the angel love that with the morning he may baptize the sons of men with kind deeds and gentle words. For when the heart is the sun of life, faith, love, only kind and simple words speak forth. All right, so there are the angels of the daytime, the angels of the rising, found in the Essene Gospel of Peace before. Now, like I always do, I like to talk about the ministries that I have strictly for the essence of joining brethren together. Get brethren joined up, come together. Let's get together, man. Let's speak our own language. Let's go ahead and glorify the Creator, the light. Let's go ahead and praise Him together, man. I mean, I I just think the opportunity, man, to talk about the light, to learn from the light, to look at because it's like you're learning secrets of the world every day. You will watch me, brother. You really got a beautiful opportunity, man. You really, really got it. It's a shame that most brethren don't take advantage of their spirituality. Don't really see any benefit to it. You know, don't see no payment, no reward to it. It's just something that's really just fire insurance. And that's a terrible thing, man. Now here's a food ministry that I have where if you know a brother and sister and they got children and they need food, I most certainly can be contacted. Here's the email information, put food ministry in the subject line. Give me a way to contact whoever that can help me to put it together. Just give me that, and I will certainly get on it. I will get on it, man. I believe it's something that the Creator has given me close to my soul, and that's for that way. Really, really, it's on my part of my desire to minister. You don't have to be a faithist. You can just it could be anybody, man. Even if you don't even have to be anybody religious or anything. All it has to be is a human being that needs help. And I'm in. I'm in. Count me in, man. Count me in. If they are breathing, okay, count me in. If they need help. If I'm able to do anything, I'm right there. I'll be there. I'll do the best I can, man. And then here's a fellowship in Facebook where I encourage faithers to join so we get together. Let's get together and speak our own language. You know, here's my room. I'm going to share a little bit as I monologue. Now, I had a thought today, brethren, that I'm dying to share with you. I had a thought that I'm dying to share. Here's a metaphysical meaning that my sister shares with me, so I can share with you, brethren, the metaphysical meaning words that are in the Bible. So, like I was saying, man, today I had a thought before I became live, and it blessed my soul so much. Even though it might not be true, it blessed my soul so much, man, that I just had to stop. It was just one of those moments. You just have to stop and give thanks to the Heavenly Father. Just bear with me as I get some work done here while I'm talking to you. It was the type of overstanding, even though it might not be true, it caused me to, it's possible that it could be, you know, it's possible that it could be true, but I was thinking, but it might not be true. See thing I was thinking is April 8th is coming up, and everybody's saying a lot about what they think it means, what's going to happen. April 8th, solar eclipse. I've been hearing a lot of things. And then I read something from the OAHSPE Bible that just it blessed my soul. And it said that, matter of fact, I think we're getting ready to come upon it here. I think we're getting ready to come upon what I found in the OAHSPE. Let me see if I can find it. I think this might be it right here. Matter of fact, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, this is what I was thinking about when I got a thought. Now, the thought was this: April 8th is coming up. A lot of people have been talking about it. Nobody really knows what the situation is. Now, I called this verse mine. I read it, and then I started thinking, you know what it could be? You brethren who know what deity worship is, who know what idolatry is, and you got the hell out of it right away, who know what it means to come out of her, my people, who knows what it means to come out of Babylon, you brethren who know that it's talking about religion, knowing that don't worship Jesus Christ, don't worship Muhammad, don't worship Hindu, don't worship Buddha, don't worship Catholicism, don't worship Christianity. You brethren, think this, you know better than to be doing stuff like that. You know what it says, or you know what I got to thinking? April 8th. It could be a change of energy. I don't know. It could be many things that we don't know. You know, one thing that I've really been seeing a lot of proof for is beginning of hostility. Beginning of hostility because eclipses have a history of wars and hostilities between people. That's the thing. That's why people they in their spirit they looking at what's the possibility of what April 8th means. They look at, I mean, it's subconscious of people. They see things like this subconsciously, a lot of people, and they see things that are not good a lot of times. They see some almonds. And, you know, I think that the spirit, if you give you that type of unction, that type of vibration, even though you might not have read a lot, you might not have studied a lot, you might not have meditated or prayed a lot. I believe you can still get that type of vibration. It's called Esfoma. Esfoma. Remember yesterday we looked at Esfoma? Esfoma, 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 where you say, you know what, there's something in the air. I feel something in the wind, man. There's something up. I don't know what it is. That's called Esfoma. That's spiritually one of the children of Jehovah. You know, there's Esfoma, there's Cephas, which is like the law. There's um, six other children that I'm forgetting right now. Cosmin, that's one. A child, described as a child. There's Woods, that's another. That's darkness. There's, I forget the others, but we were looking at it yesterday. There's HAK, which is darkness. And these are the nine spiritual entities. I think I got that in the wrong. I think I posted that in the wrong too. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. The point that I want you to see. Look here, look what it says here. It says, when you have your corporal body, it says, behold, your spirit will be free. Wherever you desire to go, you shall go. Now, it could be a situation where there's a change of energy in the world, and the faithless, they go from their lower vibration to their higher vibration. The nations of the world see it. Hey, who are these people? Why are they able to do the things they're doing? Why are they able to prophesy? Why do they love one another so much? Why do they only want to do what is right so much? How come they only want to serve one another? How come they have power to do this? Why do they have power? Who, you know, people are going to say, people should learn to start saying, hey, what about the God I serve? What about the one I worship? What about Jesus Christ? I believe in Jesus Christ. He's Lord. How come, he isn't stopping me from having this situation? How come he's not stopping? The Mohammedans, they say, hey, look, man, we pray 5 times a day, man. How come we still getting involved in all this mess over here? We getting ready to go to war with Israel. They gonna bomb us. We gonna bomb them. And then we all gonna be just like God. And then you got God with people saying, well, we believe in Allah. We pray 5 times a day. We pray sometimes 6 times a day. And here we are. We getting bombed the hell back. Where is our God? Who is this God? Why don't he deliver us? How come those people over there, they seem to, they don't pray 5 times a day. They don't get on the mat like we do and pray and face the east. How come they got all the benefits and blessings over there and our God don't do it for us? How come they got enough to eat? They got life over there. They happy with one another, love one another. How come they seem to be so happy? And we're more devout than they are, and we don't got half the benefits that they got. You, how come their God is better to them than ours is to us? And then the Buddhists they come along, they say the same thing. And the Hindus, we getting ready to go to war with China, and here we are. We are more faithful than most people in the world, and they're all the children of the false gods are going to realize my God is not a God at all. Has never been, will never be. All we've had is trouble. We cried out. Nothing has been done for us. Those people over there or here or there, north or south, they say there's something called fakeness, and they are, they have all the benefits and blessings you could ever want. How come we don't? How come we never heard of this God? How come these things are happening to us? And I think in that way that the Creator is going to win the world over to the kingdom of God. The true Creator is going to win the world over to Himself because it all goes along with you know that one verse that I've been talking a lot about. Um, what's that verse? The times of this ignorance God has winked at, but now He commands men everywhere to repent. You know what the heavenly what the Creator is talking about. It's the time for deeds and worship to come to an end. See these benefits here. Look at what see here. We have a man talking with his God on the Creator, right? In the book of Ben. We have a man talking with God. I love the book of Ben, man. I haven't really been into that, but I kind of just found it. I'm very new to the OAHSPE, and I'm loving my life like you would believe. Basically, it's what you see the people. Rather, all the years you lost, you're going to get it back. That part in the book of Joel, this part is true. I, I believe this is a true saying right here. Yep, this is what I believe. Okay? If you don't like it, yeah, this is what I believe. Okay? What I believe, you know, the years that the locust has eaten, he shall restore to their verse. I will restore the years to you that the swarming locusts destroyer. I just believe that this is that the creators that we do that. Yeah, this is what I believe. Okay, dude, I believe it. Okay, so don't try to shoot it down. That's what I hate about religion. You know, religion, people in religion, they always got to shoot. They got to find a reason to tell you to something that's harmless. Oh, you can't see the screen. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to work this string yard. I'm trying to learn how to work it. One of the things I hate about people in religion They always got to find a way to shoot you down. You know, they always got to find a way to say, "Well, no, brother, it ain't that way. See, it's this way." You know, they can't just they gotta all the time be right. They gotta all the time be corrected. They gotta all the time be telling you how it is. You know, and people get tired of that shit because you don't know how to just simply relate to somebody. You know, I find that conversation with people. There are things that I know where they're wrong, where they say something where they're wrong. And it's better to not try to always be telling people the right way, man. 'Cause there's an element to people talking, relating to one another. They're like unwritten rules, man, that you should obey in order just to make it so you can keep on fellowshipping with somebody. Nobody wants to fellowship with somebody who micromanages every little just damn thing, you know. Just micromanage every little opportunity they get to interject and tell you, oh no, you know, brother, you're wrong. And see, it's like this, it's called being dead right. You're dead. You're right, but you are dead, man. You know, you don't know how to relate to human beings. You think you do. You think you do. You're dead right, man. Just like the Hebrew Israelites, man. The way you come across, calling people names, disrespecting people, dishonoring people. You won't talk to a man like you would a David. See, you talk to him, you get proud and lift it up, and you forget that these are people created by God. That's what I see. I see it from religious people. You know, you get a little knowledge, but you're still niggardly as hell, man. Niggard, street thuggish, gangster, niggardly as hell, man. Talking about you spiritual. You get a little knowledge, man, and you still just as niggardly as hell. Ain't no difference between you uh, and the worst gangs in America. Ain't no difference between you and them. If they talk, you will sound just like them. You know, hey, my nigga, what's up, my nigga? Fool, you talking about fool? You know, it's amazing, man. You deceive yourself. Yeah. Just like I get on the Israelites, I get on you. Think this too, man. I'll get on you too. I'll get on anybody. Gonna try to convince me you'll get before the Creator and talk like that. Gonna try to tell me about spiritual things. You talk like someone straight out of the gutter. And you're gonna talk to me like that? I mean, talk to the Creator like that? You don't get it, man. You may have a lot of wisdom and knowledge about things. You just as lost as the worst man there is. Religious people. Religion. So I believe that the Heavenly Father, He's able to restore all the years that the locust was eaten. Now, the thought that I had when I read this verse right here is the book of Ben. I love the part. I love it, man, because this is somebody talking to, I don't know if he's talking to a God or the Creator, but okay, it's a God. Because it says here, verse 9, God said, check it out, man. This man, he's asking honest, legitimate questions, man, about the spiritual realm. It says, man inquired, is the dwelling place for the spirits of the dead is something firmament? How is it created? What does it rest upon? And how does the soul of man dwell in heaven? I love it. I love it, man. These are honest, legitimate questions. He says, if the spirit man has feet and legs, how does he walk? Do his arms change in the wind? Does he ride on lightning bolts? And God said, already your soul goes in that direction, but it cannot take your body with you. Your corporal, in your physical judgment, cannot cope with spiritual things. As thought travels, so it is with the spirit of dead. And you can quit your physical body. No, this spirit will be free forever. You decide to go, you shall go. Think about that for a minute. You know what I'm saying? This is spirituality here, man. Brethren, think about this. Now, again, the other thought that I had is going to be that religious people are going to, I think you're going to be brought to realize that your God, the God that you worship, is no God at all. There may be a God, but a, it's not a, it's a deity. Really. It's not the creator. It's a deity, and you're going to find he has no power. No power. I think that greater with this thing with April 8th. Now, I could be wrong, but this is what I thought. I think it's going to be the manifestation of power that we have never seen before. And it could be that creator, that you face this, that our energy level will change. Now, I can't say for sure. I'm speculating. I admit I am speculating, but I think that the creator is the only one that can manipulate the planets like that and doing it for a reason. I believe he's doing it for a reason, man. You know. Now the thing that comes to my mind is changing our energy. You know, for those of you who know what religion is, the beast kingdom, Christianity, Mohammedanism, Buddhism, Catholicism, Protestantism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Canaanites, Tibetans, all of these religions that worship a man-made God. I think the Creator, he's saying, okay, you people, that's who you want, right? All right, made the decision. Now, I'm just going to take my children and I'm going to gather them together. Going to gather them together. Ultimately, I'm going to make you see that the God I've been trying to tell you to come out of has no power. Just like that account in remember that account where Moses, he changed their staff into his staff, ate the Egyptian staff. Anybody remember that? I think that's a picture of what April 8th could be the start of, you know, where the magicians of the Beast Kingdom, we turn their staff to the snake. Our staff eats their staff. We turn our staff into a snake. Or I don't know to do it. And then the magicians, they turn their staff into a snake. And see, the magicians could hold for a little bit. But then when it got to the ninth inning, the game was over. The game was over. I think that April 8th it means something. I may not know exactly what, but the thought that came to my mind today was the Creator is going to show you. He's going to show you who the Creator is. And he's going to use the sons and daughters to do it. He makes you all make a decision. Okay, you make me picture, the faithless are lining up over here. The Ozians are lining up over there. And then that final decree go out. Okay, is that, is that it? Is that your choice? Is that your choice? Everybody say yes or no. And then they say yes. Now this is our choice. You say, okay, you sure, right? They say, yep. And then he say, my children, come over here. Y'all come over here and y'all watch what's going to happen today. And how their God or no gods at all. And then people are going to see it don't have to be, you know, it don't have to be. From what I see, the creator's just going to let religion not kill itself off because people are going to be able to see it. They're going to be able to see with their own eyes. That's what I truly believe in my heart. But don't you love this part right here? Look at the screen where it says, when you equip yourself for life, check this out what it says. Man. He says, Lord, your spirit will be free. Wherever you desire to go, you should go. Where can I ask somebody? You can even click on the link. I'm going to go to the room and see if anybody says that. Oh, the Scorpio is here. There's the Scorpio. Yeshua music. Let me put the screen in the link, or like they say, drop the link in case y'all want to come in. Y'all want to say anything. Oh, shoot. My microphone messed up again. Oh, I got to turn the music off. I got to turn the music off. That's probably what's happening. Shoot, I was saying all that, and the music might have messed that sister up, man. Can Oh shoot, man, it's been going on for a while. Oh man, can anybody can man, can anybody hear me? Is the audio okay? I just turned that music off. I'm gonna stop doing that from now on. Can I be heard? Can anybody hear me? Oh man, I'm sorry, brethren. I'll shoot. If you can hear me, okay, type one. If anybody's in the room, type one. If I can be heard. Testing, testing. Testing, testing, testing. Oh, good. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, brother. Is that audio? The audio is better then? Okay, thanks a lot. I got to stop playing that music. Okay, thank you, bro. Man, ah, I thought I was saying a lot there, and I just messing it up. I got to stop that. I got to figure out a way. Let me see. Hey, Dave, let me ask you this. Let me see if I can just stay in this tab right here. Can you read what I've got here on the screen? Can you read the what is it? The room. I had I was showing the room on Facebook. Can you read the letters? I'm looking at what I got. I can't read the lettering, but can you read it? Are you able to read it? The lettering, or is it all jumbled what you're looking at too? I'm trying to figure out, do I need to go to another screen in order to see clearly, or let me see. How about if I make it large like that? Then you probably be able to see it real well if I do it like this. Now, if I click on the Facebook tab, but then if I click on the StreamYard tab, okay, legible on your end, even if I had it on the tab that I'm looking at right now. Uh, okay, let me. Now it's sharing my screen, but okay, man, that's really disappointing, man. Shoot. All right, I suppose you can see this. Now, if I go to do the switch to another screen, and then I share that tab, I just have to presume that it can be read, but I won't be able to see the stream. Now, if I go to the StreamYard screen, I can see the chat, but I can't see the screen to where I can read it. But if I enlarge it, then I can read that, but I can't see the chat. I can't see if anybody comes in or if they asking me a question or, oh man, that's heartbreaking. I was talking all that talk, man. I thought I was on a roll, and come to find out I keep shooting myself in the foot. Okay. All right. Well, I just got to keep going. Hopefully I'll learn, Hopefully I'll learn. Let me put the link in the room again in case somebody wants to come in and share something, or you just want to you have something that you want to add to anything that I say. Okay, so I just put the link in the room again. So let me go on with the video. Man, that sucks, man. Okay, you say stay in StreamYard and share the screen where you can see the chat also. Okay, now stay in StreamYard. Stay in StreamYard and share the screen where you can see the chat also. Okay, stay in StreamYard. Okay, so I got to do it. Let me see. Do it like this then. Okay, pull StreamYard down, and then I can pull it over like this. Pull it over like that. Okay, let me pull this over here. Okay. Pull this down. Brethren, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get educated. Pull this over here. Let me see. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of that. Pull up the, let me see. Okay, I think I got it. I think I know what to do. All right. Now, let me go ahead with the metaphysical. Oh, no, I got one more thing to do. Man. Okay, I think I can do it like this. All right, I'm sorry. I'm kind of late now, brethren. I want to go ahead and let me go ahead with the metaphysical word part of the video. I like to share the metaphysical wisdom of the metaphysical word. I have a sister. She shares with me the metaphysical meaning of words so that you can learn different vibrations that you may see in yourself or see in others or see in the spirit to either prosper you or to prune from you. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for these type of things. I think you can see it on the screen now. Let me go back. Let me see. I can put that up there. Okay. But then if I went to StreamYard, I can see StreamYard, but I can't. Let me see. I got to move this over a little bit. One second, brother. I'm still trying to see. Now, I wish I could move this over. That won't let me. All right. I just trust that, let me move this. At least I could see the chat now, so I could. All right. Okay. Thanks, Dave. You can see that. Let me go back to that. All right. Move this over a little bit. Okay. Now I think I'm home free. I think I'm set up now. I can see the chat and gonna move this over a little bit more so I can see the what I want to see here. Man, this thing doing a hell of a job fighting me. Okay, there it is. I think that this is what I want right here. All right, metaphysical meaning. Metaphysical meaning. I have a sister. She shares the metaphysical meaning of words in the Bible with me, and really, really beneficial to get this type of understanding so that you could better examine yourself. You can examine yourself pretty good by learning the metaphysical meaning of words. Dave, thanks again, brother. You really, man. Okay, thank you, bro. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm really counting on you to help me, brother. I appreciate you helping me like this. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So the metaphysical meaning of Doeg, it means fearful, anxious, timid. And then historically, it was a servant of King Saul, one of his chief herdsmen. It says Doeg told Saul that Ahimelech, the priest, had befriended David, and he slew the priest at Saul's command. Now, metaphysically, the meaning of Doeg, it means fearfulness, anxiety, and timidity in individual consciousness. Now, I don't see how he gets that from, okay, the name Doeg means fearful, anxious, and timid. If I'm not mistaken, this is the same guy that said, let me go over and rip somebody's head off, take his head off. That must have been Benaiah, another chief of David's. That must have been Benaiah, right? I prayed thee. Let me see. Let's digress for a second. I'm curious. Permit me to go over and take his head off. Benaiah, King James Version. First Kings. Yeah, who was it that said that? Who is it? I'm just curious at this point. Uh, so Benaiah, it says, yeah, it must have been Benaiah. Benaiah, he was a bold, bad dude. I'm trying to find that part where he says, let me go over and take his head off. Or something like, who is this dead dog that talks to the king that way? Oh, shoot, I ain't going to be able to find it. Well, let me see. No, I'm not going to. Okay, shoot, I can't find it. I wanted to. There's a part where he. I was wondering, how can this word "doeg" mean metaphysically fearful when there was somebody that was one of King David's, one of his people, one of his officers or kings or somebody, not kings, but one of his chiefs. He said, let me go. Something about who is this dead dog that will speak to thee this way? Let me go and take his head off. But here it says the definition of that person, Doeg, but it wasn't Doeg. So it says he was fearful, anxious, timid. All right, so let's go ahead and Doeg was a servant of King Saul's. He was one of his chief herdsmen. Doeg told Saul that Ahimelech priest had befriended David, and he slew the priest at Saul's command. Now, metaphysically, the meaning of Doeg is fearfulness, anxiety, and timidity and individual consciousness. It says this is the result of believing in the impossibility of lifting the physical or outer consciousness into spirituality and establishing it in truth. This belief, when in control of the vital forces in one, Doeg was Saul's chief herdsman, does much to destroy or to bring into inactivity one's spiritual qualities, Ahimelech and the other priests whom Doeg slew. Okay, so basically I can see what it's saying. When you have the spirit of fear, that the spirit is saying something you could do, you don't do it because you just like stop smoking, you know, or stop drugs, marijuana, crack, or drinking, and your body's saying, "Oh man, no, 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 we can't do that, can't do that." It's like a spirit that's trying to convince you you can't. That's the spirit of Doeg. That's the spirit. This is saying that is the spirit of Doeg, and you got to, you got to praise the Creator, because the OAHSPE, what he's doing is you see now that the Creator, he allowed those examples to go out in the Bible so that he could show you different examples of the spiritual realities through people that he allowed to be in the Bible. You can see how the Creator, he's turning around and he's using a corrupted book of men called the Bible, and he's still working through it to teach us a lesson. He's still working through it to teach us a lesson, because men, the spirit that they're under either this or that, and they were used as examples so that we could learn the things that we are going to come upon us in our reality. Like we have, again, pointing to this here. It's like the Creator is giving us he's giving us a example of things, vibrations that come against us. And then you should be able, like I could say a lot, I can testify about things. I mean, I used to drink, I used to smoke too and do drugs. I did all that, I mean, a lot of things. We all, I don't have to get into the weeds, but things that now you're able to look back and you see that, man, how did I get out of that, man? How, but you did, and you never thought you did. So here it's saying that's the metaphysical meaning of Doeg. That's really afflicting you, but the spiritual is trying to tell you that really anything can be overcome that's getting in the way of us elevating in our spirit. And I believe that. I certainly believe that. That's really what faithism is. It's about overcoming. It's about changing, like a cocoon, into a butterfly. That's really what our reality is. A lot of things we don't see right now, but we're going to overcome. I think that's what April 8th is really all about. Is we're just going to, I think that our energy is going to change. And we're going to become another people. And we're going to show the world we're going to show the world the real light and the true kingdom. I think that's what it's all about. Because we're born now. That means we got to go upward and outward, upward or outward. We got to ascend or we got to digress. It's no in between. We have to ascend or we got to digress. Now, the other word that metaphysically I want to look at? Trophimus. I remember Trophimus. I like that name, Trophimus. It says the metaphysical meaning of Trophimus. Historically, it was a Christian of Asia who accompanied Paul to Jerusalem and worked with him in the ministry. Okay, he was an Ephesian and at the temple in Jerusalem. And he caused trouble for Paul in that the Jews thought that Paul defiled the temple by bringing Greeks into it to worship. Now, this is interesting here. Paul bringing Greeks into the temple to worship. That's pretty interesting there because there's a lot of overstanding that's coming out about Paul's under a lot of suspicion nowadays. I know in the Essene Gospel of Peace, it says there's a section in the Essene Gospel of Peace that it's entitled "The Problem with Paul" or something like that. The problem. Let me see if I can show it to you real quick. Evidently, they had a problem with his ministry. Oh shoot! I got it right here on the screen. Oh, I didn't share this tab. Trophimus. See, I'm trying to learn, brother. I hope that some of you bear with me, man. I'm trying to think about what I'm saying. I'm trying to learn this software, and it's getting the best of me. Okay, now in the Essene Gospel of Peace, there's a part where it says this, something about, I better not try to look for it. It was called "The Problem with Paul and the Things That He Taught." And I think it's coming out now that he, I know for one, he was under a deity. He pointed to Jesus Christ as who he worshiped. So I know that part is true. But I better not try to dig too deep because I don't want to really confuse anybody. I wanted to show how I forget the point that I had. And here, now I done forgot. I clicked off of Trophimus. Let me get Trophimus back so I can look at that. Where is it? Thanks, Dave, for sharing this. That video where he talked about he had a near-death experience. Let's see. So let me get back Trophimus. Metaphysical study on Trophimus. And it was historically talking about somebody in Asia. And the metaphysical meaning is a thought or expression of desire. Trophimus was an Ephesian, and Ephesus signifies desire. It says the thought or expression of desire in individual consciousness, desire which often becomes recognized only by the outer carnal phase of man's consciousness as it seeks expression in sense ways. Especially is this the case in those who have not been really awakened to spiritual understanding? Is believed by one's old, established, and formerly religious ideas not to be spiritual, and therefore have no place in one's being, the temple. But desire in man is fundamentally spiritual. It is the foundation quality of all growth and unfoldment. And when it expresses in a higher spiritual understanding, it is fed and supported by true spiritual life and substance. This is the significance of trophemus. Feeding, nourishing a foster child, instructing, fostering, nursing, tender care. So, a thought metaphysically, trophemus, we could say a thought or expression of desire in individual consciousness. Desire, which often becomes recognized only by the carnal phase of man's consciousness as it seeks expression in sense ways. So I think I can see what it's saying. It's like it starts on the inside, but the problem is manifesting it on the outside. If I can try to make it easy to understand the metaphysical meaning of trophemus, the struggle between to harmonize what goes on the inside and the outside. Let's say, like, give you an example. Um, like, say on it sounds just like do egg, really. It goes along with do egg, what we just looked at. Basically, let's say you want to stop eating meat, you know, but it's a struggle. Like, I'm sure it is. When, the OAHSPE, we now know that the creator, it pretty much demand that for you to be able to elevate spiritually, you have to get away from eating anything that used to live fleshly. Have to stop eating meat. And it's not very easy. There's a struggle there. It takes a lot of time for some people. And so I think that it will cause that's one thing that could cause a great separation. It's a metaphysically, it's the struggle that's going on. It can be called trophemus. It has to do with our desire, but the manifestation is hard to do, man. The carnal phase of man's consciousness, desire, it becomes recognized only by the outer carnal phase of man's consciousness as it seeks expression in sense ways, meaning to bring that which is spiritual really into the physical is what I'm imagining this uh, to mean. It seeks expression in sense ways, especially is this the case in those who have not been really awakened to spiritual understanding. Is believed by one's old, established, and formerly religious ideas not to be spiritual. So you could also say, like, basically, like personally, when I read the OAHSPE, well, I don't want to. I was going to talk about the Passover and the problems that I had with it. Now that I've come into the understanding of the OAHSPE, but I could make somebody stumble, and I'm having trouble finding another example of what the metaphysical trying to give like to translate what the metaphysical meaning of what's written here for trophemus and how it applies to us. So it's probably better for me to just go ahead and let you, brethren, just read it, and then you conclude in your own self what you think it's saying. Oh man, it's 6:10 already. Oh my goodness, man, I'm way, way late. Wow, I didn't know it was that late, man. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to the reading now. Let me see if anyone's in the chat other than Dave. So, Dave, I still got you. Let's see. You got something here, or you say we're? Oh, okay. Did he? Okay. I think I might have seen that. I have to check it out again. Malachi's video, And then you say on Paul being under the influence of the false Christ, Louis Mang. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of problems coming out with him. I mean, even with deity worshipers, they've been doing things on him too, pointing out the um, I'm trying to remember specifically some things that they're sharing about Paul. I mean, I don't want to just say his gospel, but questioning his authenticity as a disciple because he wasn't chosen specifically by Jesus Christ. And then the Israelites approaching him as he was an Edomite that brought another gospel. So basically, just that there were some questions with him that I know for me, the OAHSPE really brings out. But for me, I'm looking at him from a deity standpoint, being used by Luamang to capture more spirits under deity worship, under idolatry. And again, I want to say if anyone is listening, my whole thing is deity worship, man. I mean, that thing that I was given before I came on live today about I I think that the creator, he could use April 8th as a time of a harvest in a sense to separate faithless brethren from the world. Because the creator, he said that there were only two things that he saw in our reality, and that's faithless and Uzians. That's what he said. And looking at the Bible and the history of the Bible, how he kept Israel separated, and people saw the blessing that the Israelites were under, say like with the plagues, and they were able to understand who the people of God were. And I think that as before, it's going to be the same in our day. Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, see what you say right there? I'm glad you shared that. Talking about that vision that Constantine saw, I'm willing to bet you it was the same thing. A way to introduce Jesus Christ to the world, the story of Constantine, the vision that he was given, the dream that he was given, or about the sign in the heavens, by this ye shall conquer, and he was able to lead an army of men against another group, another nation, I forget who it was, and he was able to conquer them, and it elevated Constantine to become an emperor. I think it was Luamang that said something like, "I'm going to have." He was learning about the defeat of all of his his armies by someone that was stronger than him, and he said he wanted to have an emperor for himself. And Luamang told him how to do it, how to inspire his men. He did it. He was able to get to a point where he had a religious council where Luamang inspired him to introduce the story of Jesus Christ. Now, I talked to Cal, and talking to Cal, Cosmin Cal, he said there were like two or three Jesuses. Like there was a real Jesus. I don't think he was talking about Zarathustra either. Zarathustra is certainly the real story of Jesus Christ, but talking to that brother, he said there were two or three others that the that were the inspiration for the Bible. Hey Dave, if you want to explain you can come into the room. If you want to explain it, you have the link. If you want, let me share it again. If you want, you can. This is what I'm going to start doing with the room. So you brethren, You can share and you can explain it better than I can. Well, if you want, you can take the link and talk to the video. I'll give you a couple of seconds to see if you want to come in. If not, I'm gonna go ahead with the reading. On this software, I can't see how many are, who's in the room, if anyone is, looking or. Oh, okay. There you go. Brother, you really helping me out a lot, man. Can you hear me okay?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Is my mic on?
Is your mic on?
Oh yeah. I can hear you good.
Is your mic on?
Let me there we
Or do
go.
I need to turn off my mic?
Ah, that better?
No, nothing yet.
Hmm.
Can you hear me? If you can,
Yeah,
put
I
up a
can hear
one.
you.
Is your mic on?
I think so. Yeah, reduce background noise. Stereo.
I don't know. Can you? I
Okay.
don't know what it is. I can't.
Is that better?
I can't hear you.
Huh.
Can
I'm still trying to figure this one out myself.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you. It says I'm in the show and
I can't
everybody
hear
can
you.
see and hear you.
I can't hear you, bro. I don't know why.
Uh, let me go out and come back in.
Type it in if you can. Is there? You think it's something wrong with your mic?
Uh, no, says
Do you
it's
think
on.
your mic is working?
Let me go out here.
Okay, you took yourself out. Hey, Dave, try it one more time. I think I found the answer. Try it one more time. I think I see what the problem was. Try it one more time if you can. I think I see what the problem was. Okay, now try it again. Let me see if.
Okay, mic working now?
All right, try it now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Try it now. Try to say something now.
Yeah, I can hear you. Huh? It says the mic's working.
I still can't hear you.
Mhm.
Testing 1 2. I still can't hear you. Oh, you know what? Look at what Asenath is saying. She can hear both of us, so the problem is probably on my end. Hey, Dave, just stay with me for a little bit. Let me see if I can figure this out. If I don't figure it out now, it'll probably happen again. I won't know what to do. So just hold on. Okay, try something out.
Okay, is that better?
No.
No, nothing on. Have you got me on mute on your StreamYard?
Okay, try something out. Say something now.
Have you got me on mute
Shoot.
on your StreamYard?
Hey, Dave, might as well go ahead and drop off, man. I'm gonna have to look into it after I get finished with the video. I don't know what's going on here. Ace
Okay,
says she can hear both of us.
okay, dropping off.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is, bro. I got to figure it out after. I got to figure it out after I do this video. All right, I'm gonna go ahead with the reading, and then afterwards I'll do the troubleshooting. I know that it's got to have something to do with my settings, so I don't know what it is right now, but I'll get it fixed. I'll check it out later on. Um, all right, let's go ahead with the reading because I'm way late. So I'm gonna get into the reading. I hope that the I'm everything else is okay. You can hear me, and I have to try to figure out what happened. Why I wasn't able to hear the brother after I do the video. Okay, well anyway, let's go ahead with the reading of the word, and I'll get all that fixed after the video when I get a chance to look at it, troubleshoot, and find out what's going on. Anyway, may the Heavenly Father bless the reading of His Word. This is the Book of Ben, chapter 4, and basically it's a dialogue again between a man and his God, a man and God, and he's basically going to ask the questions that we would ask. That's the beauty of Book of Ben. It's like a dialogue, an ongoing dialogue between and us and a righteous God. Questions that we all want to know. So basically, he's just telling us here. So may the Heavenly Father bless the reading of His Word. Verse 1, man said, "What then shall I believe? If great learning has not proven anything real, if science is based on falsehood, and if there are no neutral laws, shall I not give up my judgment? Whatever is at variance with my judgment, shall I not turn away from it?" Verse 2, it has been said, the soul of man never dies. No one can know this except Jehovah. It has been said, Jehovah is a person. No one can know this. Or I read it wrong. It says, it has been said, Jehovah is a person. No one can know this, for his magnitude is incomprehensible. Verse 4, I can say what man's mortal body is made of is this. I can say what man's mortal body is made of is the soul of man's is the soul of man made of oxygen or hydrogen? Give me light that is real. Jehovah said, my divisions are not like man's divisions. Behold, I create one thing within another. Neither space, place, time, nor eternity stands in my way. The soul is spirit. Man inquired, if the dwelling place for the spirits of the dead is up in the firmament, how is it created? What does it rest upon? And how does the soul of man dwell in heaven? If the spirit man has feet and legs, how does it walk? So he sees the firmament is like, it's just air. He's thinking carnally because, I mean, you got to love it because he's thinking like we would think. And it's innocent, it's valid, it's justifiable. The way he's thinking, I mean, he's thinking just like we can't walk on air in this reality. He's thinking the same thing as the way things are here. He's thinking that's the way it is in the spiritual. And so he keeps going. He says, and how does the soul of man dwell in heaven? If the spirit man has feet and legs, how does he walk? Do his arms change in the wings? Does he ride on lightning bolts? God said, already your soul goes in that direction, but it cannot take your body with it. Your soul goes in that direction, but it cannot take your body with it. Now, what does he mean when he says your soul goes in that direction? Now, I'm asking, see, that's what's going to be the beauty of this channel. Cause I'm a ask. I ain't gonna sit here and act like I know everything. I'm gonna plainly admit, hey, you know what? I don't know what this means. You know, I could speculate, and I'm gonna expect if there's a brother or sister, well, if anyone's in the room, you come on this, you come on the stream, and you tell me what you think it is. That's what I want this channel to be. I want us to learn from one another. So I got the chat where I can read it, so at least I can do that. I don't know what the problem was with Dave's mic. I think it's something on my end. I'll figure that out. But for you brethren that are here, just to let you know, this is the way the channel's going to be. Since I could bring you on, since you can come on the stream, then I'm going to, I'm going to be asking brethren to come on and you give your best understanding. Because see, I'm learning, really. And so I love to learn from brethren who are more experienced in the OAHSPE than me or take advantage of their knowledge. Now let me see. Asenash, she says, oh, she's asking you, David, who were the Kabbalactes? And if I may take a stab at that, I mean, Dave, he knows way more than I do, but I think they were false gods, weren't they? Kabbalactes. They were a false god. Oh, okay. You responded already. False saviors were raised up and slain by Luamon, Enocrissa, and Kabbalactes to seal their doctrines in blood. Okay. Verse 49, or I don't know, you got a 49 there. Were you referring to a verse? No. Or verse 4.9. False saviors. You say false saviors were raised up and slain by Luamon, Enocrissa, and Kabbalactes to seal their doctrines in blood. I want to chew on that for a second. Matter of fact, what I could do, another good thing is that I can go ahead and do a word study right here. Asenath Kabbalactes was one of the triune gods. Oh, so they fought with one another. They triune gods along with Luamon and Enocrissa. Did Kabbalactes give us Baal and Astaroth? Oh, that's good. I'm glad y'all talking to one another. Yeah. Hey Dave, I'm gonna figure out what was wrong with that mic. As you can see, I'm gonna be relying on you a lot, man, to share with us what you know. That's what I'm gonna turn this channel into. So, brothers and sisters, we can get on. We can talk about that. You can come on this stream, and in real time, we can talk about these things. That's my dream, to get it to where brethren can come in, and when there's questions that I have or anybody else have, somebody can come in and we can talk about this together. That's my dream. Now, you say it was one of the triune Kabbalactus was one of the triune gods along with Luamang and Inokrisa. Now, I was reading about Kabbalactus. Matter of fact, let me let me let's look at that real quick. Let's look at that real quick. Who Kabbalactus was? She has a question, so let's look into it a little bit. Let me see. You got something written here. I see it, but I don't. Yeah, I thought I might have. You know. Okay, let me try one more. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. He, I was looking at the mute buttons, but I couldn't figure. I just couldn't figure it out. I know it's got to be something with my settings. I'm dying to have him come on and just break it down, but now the least I can do is at least go into. Let's look at Kabbalactus real quick. I can try um, to see what I could see. Try to find out if I can get some wisdom right here. Okay, okay. All right. I hope y'all can see the screen okay. Kabbalactes. Here's the first mention of Kabbalactes. Make the screen. Okay, it says it's referring to this footnote is referring to something here. Man, I can't find what it's referring to. Oh, okay, right here. The first Bible of Bennu. That's what, East India, or being of Brahma, a man chosen by God for the children of Bennu, giving an account of Brahma becoming Isu, of his labors and his resurrection after death. Now, over here it mentions Kabbalactes. It says, this is Brahma, the first. a Danha, which is a high time of light, later a false god, Kabalaktes. Using the name of Brahma would do much destruction in India. Afterward, another self god, Inakrisa, falsely took the name of Brahman. So Kabalaktes became a false god. It said this is Brahma the first, a Danha, later false god, during a high time of light, which is a Danha, later a false god, Kabalaktes. So we can start off knowing Kabalaktes was a false god. Let's go to another verse and see what it says about Kabalaktes so we could learn a little more. It says, now finally they resolved to organize. So, I'm jumping in the middle of something here, but let's see what we can find about Kabalaktes. It says, now finally they resolved to organize each one of these three places, each to be under a distinct head, and to unite the three heads into one confederacy, and the whole to be dedicated to the service of Jehovah. Thus was founded the Confederacy of the Holy Ghost. And by acclamation, three angels were raised to the three capitals, namely Kabalaktes, Inakrisa, Edishong, and Luamong. And each and every one of the three took the title Son of the Holy Ghost. All three had been lords and were high in grade. Okay, then it says down here in verse 12, it says Kabalaktes selected 7 angels and gave them the rank of Lord, namely Liwan, Amitar, Winates, Hawatcom, Shangzi, Masquatus, and Enos Kabab. And then it says Luamon selected 7 angels. Okay. And let's see if we can find any more. See what the next reference is. It says Kabalaktes selected 7 angels and gave them the rank of Lord. Okay. Let's see what the next reference is to Kabalaktes. It says here next of Kabalaktes, triune God of Venu in her heaven. So it was a woman. Kabalaktes was a woman. Triune God of Venu in her heavens. Kabalaktes said, so I think it's going to point to the downfall of Kabalaktes, like Dave was saying. So I'm going to just kind of jump so I can try to get as much understanding of Kabalaktes because I can't read everything about her. It says Kabalaktes in organized, and then it says his. First it was a her. Check that out, Dave. Kabalaktes was a her. Look at that. Kabalaktes was a her. See? And Kabalaktes is a him. Kabalaktes in organized his heavenly kingdom. So let me see. I should bring the chat down so I can read it. So let me bring the chat in. So I can read it. Let me see. No, they're okay. The mic might not be working. They can check to make sure they have the correct mic device selected from the drop down menu. Oh, that's a good point. My settings, maybe you have the wrong mic. No, my mic is working. See? I think it just has to do with my mic. So it might, I don't know. Have the guests go to settings. Hey, Dave. Okay, her is referring to the heavens. Check out what she said, or what Asenath said. Go to your settings. Go to audio. And when they speak out loud, do the gray dots, or test the mic to see if the gray dots flash green in response to your voice. If not, your mic may not be working. They can check to make sure they have. Hey Dave, check out what she posted here. Go to your settings and see if you're on the right microphone. Go to your settings and see if you can go to your audio and see if you're using the right microphone. Because I want to nip this in the bud because this is the way I'm gonna run this channel. I'm gonna get it. If somebody has a question, then I'm gonna stop what I'm doing. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna stop what I'm doing, and we're gonna turn it. We're going to devote our time to whatever the question is. Okay, so I got you on
Okay,
the
you
screen
got
now. Now
me?
see if you can say something. I really want to get this dealt with, man, so I can.
Okay, have you got me?
Still not working?
Still not working?
No.
Uh,
Um, I think it's
my
something I'm doing,
audio's
man.
on.
Something just tells me it's something. Oh, sure.
Check your drop down menu.
Hey, Dave, hang with me, man. Let's try to get this figured out once and for all. You know, now she says she hears us both. Now,
Okay,
what
test.
the hell?
Hmm,
That means that to me, that means I should be able to hear you.
I can hear
Let me try
you.
something. Hold on a second. I think the spirit is telling me what to do.
Hmm.
Okay, try to say something.
Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Now,
Oh
I know
man.
my mic was on because
Yeah,
everything's
I can.
working on my end.
I hear you.
Oh, good.
Yes. Hey, brother, check out her post. Now, she wanted to know about Cabalactes. Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah. But the thing is, I can't have you on and me on at the same time. I've got to close out your tab to be in the studio.
How's that?
Uh, because if I try to have your stream on live while I'm on live, you're going to get feedback because the two are going to be in conflict with one another. Your stream and your live stream, and me in the studio.
I don't hear any feedback.
No, but that's because I shut your live stream off when I came in the studio.
Hmm. So let me see. How do I? Let me see. You shut the live stream off, but you can hear me.
You can put up her or the chat. Go to your chat and you can flip that on where I can see what the question was.
Okay. Let me see.
There you go. I see it on mine. It says Athnas 111. I hear you both well. And that's down at the bottom left of your screen.
Okay. Hold on a second.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Hold on a second.
It says, I hear you both well.
Yeah, I'm trying to get.
Okay, Bro Dave, who was Cabalactes? Cabalactes was one of the triune gods, along with Luamong and Inuchisa. They formed the Federation of the Holy uh, Confederation of the Holy Ghost, and they were at that point when they formed this confederation. They were all together. Later on, they had a fallout between themselves and started fighting with one another, as all false gods do. Now, between the three of them, they raised up 49 false saviors, doing miracles in each of their names. Like some of them would do miracles in Brahma's name, some of them would do it in Buddha's name, and some of them would do it in Christ's name. After he took the name Christ, Christ meaning all knowledge. And there's only one being that has all knowledge, and that's Creator.
Okay, what was the downfall of Cabalactes? Did Luamon take Cabalactes down? And and it referred to. Oh, you can't hear me. Can you hear me, Dave?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Now, Luamon, did Luamon take down Cabalactes?
No. The three false gods were uh, taken out by Lika. And the Etherean hosts, they came between their sources of supply, and then everything went to hell real quick because all their slaves revolted against them.
But wasn't Lika a righteous God? Lika?
Yeah, Creator sent Lika uh, at a time when they were all fighting against one another, and they cut off their supplies of Luamon, Cabalactes, and Anchiza. All of a sudden, boom, no more supplies, their slaves revolted.
But they fought against themselves too. I mean, well, they fought. Didn't Luamon? Didn't he get Thoth to take down some of the other gods?
Well, uh, yeah, he did at first because he promised Thoth Jerusalem, or the false god Gabriel. He promised him Jerusalem, right? Later on, he reneged and wouldn't give him Jerusalem. So
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel, under the name of Muhammad, or raised up a prophet named Muhammad, and they said he was Allah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Mohammedanism came about. So actually, when that came about, there were not only the three triune gods, there was four of them now, along with false god Gabriel. And like I said, Leakey came in and cut off their supplies, and they all revolted against their leaders. All the slaves did, and there was like billions of them. There's one passage in where it says they promised them bread or blood, right? And then they didn't give them bread, so they wanted blood from Luamong.
Hmm. So how did Leica cut off the supplies of Cabalactes? when it says they cut, when you say they that Leica cut off the supplies, does that? I mean, I'm thinking that these false gods they were capturing spirits. So, are you saying that there were no more spirits provided for Cabalactes and the other false gods?
Uh, when this happened, it was during either a time of GA or AG.
Yeah.
One of them is where you go to the well and pull up water, and the other one is kind of like when it rains and it rains down, and it rained down the substance, right? So
Uh,
uh, what this substance was, uh, that is what uh, Lika. That's why he stopped. That's why he came between their groups and just stopped it right there and there.
Asenath, Asenath has a question, and she's
What,
referring to why did Jehovah allow the false gods to fight among themselves? I believe that's what she's asking.
ah, well, according to free will, we have free choice other to either follow false gods or follow Creator, and we're at a age now where we can understand the difference. When a false god comes up and says, "Oh," like they did to Abraham, well, I'm Jehovah, and I want you to go out and sacrifice your son to me. And you say, "Well, you're gonna have to prove that you're a creator, because Creator says do not kill." So you gotta test those false gods.
So, how do you look at Jesus Christ? I asked Cal the other day, and what's your understanding on Jesus Christ?
Well, kind of like OAHSPE says, there was a scene named Joshua, right,
Yeah,
which was model for that. But like I say, Cabalactes, no, Louis Mong, he went and put up one of his saviors for that, and substituted some of Joshua's teachings, because there are some of Joshua's teachings in there, but it's all mixed up with his Jesus. And so, it's kind of hard to differentiate. Uh, the part where he was talking to Moses and Elias, right? Now that's true because that's in Owaspie. Now, this the similar tale about where he's talking to Moses and Elijah uh, in the Bible seems kind of like it, because he says, "You don't build no temple to me or Elijah or anybody, because the only one that you ought be building temples to and monuments to is Creator." So that sounds good. But now, where he says that the those of you, I'm going to set brother against brother and sister against sister and sister-in-law against mother-in-law
yeah,
and
yeah,
all that stuff, that don't ring true, because that's fussing and fighting, and that's not what Creator's about.
yeah. I'm glad you said that because that takes away a lot of confusion, and that was my understanding that when I first came into OAHSPE, I saw a contradiction there, and I was too afraid to say anything against Jesus Christ. But I saw a contradiction between the OAHSPE and Jesus Christ. And I recently came to that conclusion that there are sometimes I felt he's, now this is before I knew about Yeshua or Joshua. It was before I knew about them and even Zarathustra. So, but the one thing that kept going through my mind was there's a disconnect here. And he says this on one hand, he says this on another hand, and then I finally got to the understanding that there's a little bit of truth in the Bible, there's a lot of error. And then you read about Luomong and how he used Constantine so that he can have an emperor. And then that explained it to me why, you know, there's some truth, I see some wisdom in Jesus Christ, but then there are other things I can't, I couldn't understand it. So that helps me to see Jesus Christ in a greater light. But let me ask you another question, and correct me if I'm wrong, man. Do you, so far as April 8th, if I may, what do you see? I know you know about the eclipse. What do you see concerning that spiritually? The eclipse of April 8th?
Well, I really haven't thought too much about it, but I did see a little clip on it that somebody put up, and there was supposed to be like seven nine of us or something like that, and that eclipse is supposed to make a couple of Hebrew letters, and I guess those eclipses that make those letters, along with this coming eclipse, was like 7 years apart or something like that. Uh, you see, the strange thing about these false gods, right? Even though that Luamong, Kabbalactes, and Inachiza are gone, some of their followers escaped, and the smart ones escaped, and they're just carrying on their traditions, but under their own names. Uh,
Now,
like I say, these beings are extremely long lived, 800-900 years, right, in the spirit, and we're what? We're just like babies compared to them, so they're going to definitely attempt to take advantage of us any way they can to get us into uh, their group. And what they're trying to do, I believe, is use the fear factor, right? Because if you pray to their Jesus, their Jesus is going to supposedly save you. And then when nothing happens, oh, I've been saved by Jeebus. You see what I'm saying?
now can I jump in for a second?
Sure.
I'm telling you, before I came on live today, what you just got finished saying, that's exactly what came to my mind, man. Exactly what came to my mind about April 8th. It came, for some reason, I started saying that I think the creator is going to use it like he's going to let people who are under their deity see that their deities don't have no power. I think that he's going to show, it's like he's going to somehow gather the faithists or do something with us to increase our vibration and bring us to another level, and that the world will see it, and then they will know, like, what have I been praying to? Why, if I am more religious than even these faithful, I pray 5 times a day. Matter of fact, now it reminds me of that story where there were two men, remember, in the Bible, where it says one said, Lord, I pray 10 times a day. I give 10%. I thank you that you haven't made me like this tax collector. And then it ended up commending the other man who humbled himself. But you remember that story?
Uh, I never much was one
Read the
for.
Bible? Never much read the Bible. Here, I'll
I
show you. Can I show you real quick?
sure, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, Dave, I really appreciate you coming on the channel, man. I mean, you just don't know. You don't know, man. I really appreciate you doing this. There were two men that went down to the temple. One said, King James Version. Okay, you can't see this, can you, Dave? You
No,
can't see the the screen that I put up.
no. You'll
Oh
have to click
shoot.
on the
Well,
tab.
I was going to. I was. Um. I don't. I still don't think you'll be able to see it. I don't know.
Yep, there it
You
is.
see that?
Now it's up.
Okay.
Verses
Okay.
10:14.
Yeah. And basically, I'm just bringing it up because of what you just got finished saying about the uh, the powerlessness of the false gods, and it made me recall this story here. And I was going to make the point that I think that the creator, I'm just speculating about April 8th, basically, and the uh, the solar eclipse. I think it means something, and I think that it's going to mean a separation of some sort between the Faithists and the, I call them the Uzians. And I was just wondering what your mind was on the on these coming events, whether you have an opinion on it or not. But I think that is something spiritual behind it. And the two Hebrew letters you were mentioning, I mean, the Tav and the there's another. I think it's the Aleph and the Tav that are depicted. I think that there's a message about the first and the last in this 2017-2024 eclipse that it makes me think that there's it's signaling an event, and I'm wondering how the Faithists will be dealt with. This is pretty much the same question I was asking Cal, and I just wanted your opinion on it. Um, yeah, the Aleph
Well,
and the Tau. I put another question up, or um, the sister, I think it's the sister, a question that she's asking. But I was just trying to find out if you had an opinion on April 8th, the solar eclipse. I don't know if you've even heard about it, but if you have, do you have an opinion on it?
excuse me. I was reading the question down here.
Oh, okay. You can just go ahead and answer the question then. I was just asking about April 8th. I'll probably get back to it at some point, but I'm reading
Well,
her post.
what I'm thinking is I'm thinking that either Kabalaktes or Buddha put in that where Elijah might have been Jesus, and that would be really strange because I think it wasn't it Moses and Elijah were with Jesus. So how could
Yeah.
Jesus be with himself talking to himself if he was there talking to Elijah? And Elijah was supposed to be Jesus also. That'd be really confusing. Hell, I definitely see what you mean there.
Well, that was Gaia. I'm reading her post too. The typology of the theology of Jesus can make it confusing for many. Add the Trinity, and it gets really confusing. If Elijah was also Jesus, what part of the Godhead is he? Yeah, it's making my brain hurt just reading what she posted, what he or she. I don't know if it's a he or she, but I want to. But I want to know. I mean, I think that Christianity taught us that Elijah and Moses. I mean, there was Moses, and then there was Elijah, and it was. I think that they look at Moses and Elijah as separate entities. See, I mean, now that I know what I know, what little I know from the OAHSPE and that and Constantine and the councils that he had and them just I don't know how to take. I mean, I look at some things that Jesus said, it makes a lot of sense to me. A lot of wisdom seems to be there. But then I read about Constantine and Luamong and how they basically fabricated a lot of Zarathustra, and then they just you it seems that there's some things that are out of place. So I really answer her post or his post. I don't. Asaph, are you sister or brother? So that I can quit mistaking you for. Uh, Here's another post, Dave. She says, "I'm really curious about April 8th. I don't." Okay, so it's about April 8th again. She don't give much credence towards prophecy, but the astrology and the sacred Hebrew Allah part of it is fascinating. Yeah, I mean, I just think that at this stage, I think that it's a signal. I think that it's spiritual. I think that there's going to be the. I think there's going to be some type of movement. I just see it as two spiritually significant. The fact that, yeah, the Hebrew, the lettering, the Aleph and the Tav is. Uh, Matter of fact, let me see, Dave. I don't know if you've ever seen this. Let me show you this, if you don't mind. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the picture that is really interesting. 2017, 2024 eclipse. Okay. Can you see that okay?
Bring it up just a little bit more.
Okay.
Can you
Hold
bring the whole
on
screen
one
up?
second.
There you go. Okay, that's good. I can see that now. It's over on the right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I can make that even bigger. Um, okay. Now, actually, there's a better one. There's something better than this. Okay. There. Can you see that okay?
This one
Can you
here?
see this? Yeah. This right here.
Yeah.
Okay. You see how it forms a two lines going from east to west and one line
Yeah,
going from, you know. Now, those can be looked at as Hebrew letters. The tau would be the line that's going, I don't know if you can see my cursor.
yeah, I
The
can see
line,
it.
okay, the line that's going down this way and then across, that's the tau. And
Okay.
then the aleph is going this way. See, it's making
Yeah,
an A,
yeah,
and then there's a T if you remove that part, of course. But it's making a ta, a tau, and an aleph. And in the Hebrew, that's like let me show you. Let me show you. What do the tau and the aleph mean in Hebrew? The towel. Hold on a second.
yeah. Something like beginning and end, or something like that, or from
Yeah,
end to the
yeah, yeah,
beginning.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think
I
I
was just
read
going to
that
bring up the
when
literal.
I checked on that.
Yeah, it has something to do with beginning and the ending. That I think is just fascinating myself. Because I mean, now if a false god can do that, and I imagine they probably could. Now that I think about it, then that's one hell of a. I mean, you know, I wonder if they are able to do something, deceive people into doing something like that. Okay, I'm trying to find where it points to the the meaning or the definition of Tao, and I'm having trouble.
Now,
Oh, yeah,
if
it
if
does.
if we could put that a positive spin,
I'm wondering. I'm just wondering if it's of. Say what now? I'm
yeah.
wondering if it's of the creator or not. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. Do you think it's of the creator or the false gods?
Well, if
Can you see the
it could
screen?
be either way, because when you said like the beginning and the ending, there's got like seven Ninevehs there, and this Jonah guy was supposed to go and preach to him, but he went the opposite way and got swallowed by some whale or something, if I remember right. Yeah, something like that. And then he went back and I guess preached to him, and they all repented. Now the thing is, it might be the beginning of the end of these false gods.
Yeah, actually, now really, that's what I think. That is really what I think. I really believe that. I think I say that because of the confluence of events, man. I think that there's an energy change that's going to come from the lower to the higher for faithists. I think we're going to be taken from one level of understanding to another level. And I think people who are under the beast kingdom are going to remain where they're at, and faithists are going to rise to another level. Now, I could be wrong. I can only speculate because I don't know.
Well,
But
that that video that I gave you and put on your homepage on Facebook says basically the same thing. That the world's people are going to lock themselves up in that fear cage and do whatever the government or religious leaders or whatever says they're supposed to be doing when they're supposed to be doing it. And the faithist and creator, they're just going to go their own way, and they're going to go somewhere different, and they ain't going to be listening to what the government says, a whole lot. And they're going to go out and form their own communities and their own cities. And he says at the end of the video.
Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear that because I read where creator he said he talks about gathering his own. Now, I do remember reading something like that. His either historically, it may be prophetical, but I don't see. I mean, I seem to see where he talks about separating his own. I remember reading something in the OAHSPE where he says, "Let him who can dance with let him who can dance, who has the spirit of dance, and let him who has the spirit of singing sing, and let him who has the spirit of believing in man believe, and let him who worship me," or something like that, the Creator. And he said the last of these, because he mentions those who are made to worship him, he says, "I will gather them. I will gather mine own." He basically sounds like he's saying, if you want to choose to do that, go right ahead. If you choose to do that, go right ahead. If you choose to do that, go right ahead. But me, those who choose me, I'm going to choose them. So that's the that's the
That's where your free will comes in. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what it's oh man, it's beautiful. It's the oh man, I don't know if you can see this. You can't see the screen, I guess, but I put up the post that you
Oh
shared in the
yeah.
room. Oh, you can see it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I listened to it, and he made some interesting points, and basically it boiled down to I love the part where he talked about the authenticity, you know, of being who you really are, man. That he said that he seemed to realize we're going to be our authentic selves, and we're like he said you if you're one way you're like you gave this part of yourself to maybe you're a construction worker, it's like the Dave who was the worker and the Dave who was the neighbor and the Dave who was a husband. They were all going to be brought, the meat of the Dave was going to be brought together. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but I hope you can see what.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Let me share what they're posting here. I'm going to share what they're posting. There's one thing, there's another thing. Asenath that she said the false gods rebelled in the book of Enoch. They are the planets and stars. So this should be taken with a grain of salt. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I mean, I hear a lot about the book of Enoch, man. I never really could figure it out what the big deal was. I just for some reason didn't really jump into it as much as a spiritual book is something about it that didn't really grab me. I mean, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be read or anything like that. I'm just saying it never grabbed me because I never could get my mind around. I could never get a big picture on it. And let me see. Let me see what Gaia says. I think April 8th is probably a universal amplification of metaphysical energy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. Me too. I really do believe that, man. It says probably the work of the creator as well as false gods. Yeah, good point. Good point. Hence, application of both the negative and the positive. Yeah, I'm with you. I am with you there. I am with you. I kind of look at it as the false god's last stand. I think that as our game goes up, so does theirs. I hate to use such vulgar language to describe it that way, but that's a good description right there. I think that it's got something to do with with energies. I mean, with the Pluto going into Aquarius, that's a big deal to me, man. Boy, that's a big deal to me. Pluto going into Aquarius last year, it went into Aquarius and then it came back out. Because the planets they swing into one another. Now I don't know. Am I going off by Am I um, by talking about the planets? Am I going off talking about the planets, Dave? What does the OAHSPE? How does the OAHSPE look at astrology? I guess is what I'm
Uh,
saying. How does it look at astronomy and astrology and
well, I'd say the vortexial currents have a lot to do with it, but not so much the planet's influence, but the
mhm,
vortex around the planet uh, interacts with our vortex, which
mm,
would be roughly the same thing.
mhm. So are you saying that you don't see like you don't see the different like a planet having a Aries being an Aries or a Taurus being a Taurus? You say you don't see that type of thing
Oh no
according
no
to
no no! What I'm saying is the vortex that carries the whole solar system, right?
uh yeah.
Uh, is what's creating the uh, how you say it, the
The vibration.
psychological aspects.
Okay.
I would say,
So
but
so
yes,
you
they're actually fairly well, amazingly accurate.
so you attribute the characteristics and the vibrations that we call astrology to the vortex.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get with that. Yeah, I can dig that. I mean,
I, I'm I'm kind of hoping I'm paraphrasing what OAHSPE talks about
yeah, me too.
according to astrology,
Me
and I
too.
hope
I
I
mean, I
didn't
can dig
mess it up.
that. Yeah, I mean, because protection, that's the source. That's the creator. So, I mean, it creates everything, and if that's astrology is part of it. So, I'm just new I'm really new, but I think that I have a heavy vibration on me where I can see how people they act in accordance with their sign. Oh, look here, man, we got Sela in the room. How the hell did we deserve to have him come in? He's royalty, man.
Well,
he,
invite him
he,
on the
ain't,
panel.
he ain't supposed to be here. Let me drop the link. He might want to say something. He might want to share a word or something. Let me hold on a second, Dave. Let me drop the link in the room. So if he wants, he can come in. Man, I'm thrilled, man. Let's see if he'll come in. So, Dave, how long have you been a Faithist?
I would say since about 1999, 2000.
How did you even learn about it?
I was in Sedona, like
Oh
I
yeah,
said.
Sedona? Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah, and I was looking for spiritual material like that. So I went to like a whole bunch of bookstores, and I couldn't find what I wanted. Then one day, all of a sudden, my feet decided to take a walk inside antique shop. I couldn't figure out why my feet was going that way, but I got rubber boots on, and I just let the boots do the walking. So they walked around, and they walked right to the back of the section, and I found myself looking at a bunch of books. And one of them, a green book, caught my eye, and I took it out and I looked at it, and it said OAHSPE. And I said, "Now, what in the world is an OAHSPE?" So I flipped open the cover, and then I read the preface about the creator and the angels and the ambassadors, and that was it. I bought it right then and there for $25.
Oh man. So how would you describe the last 20 years spiritually from
How
your
would I
point of
what?
view? No, how would you describe the last 20 years
Oh,
from
been fantastic. I read a WASPy at least once a year, and I always find something that I may have overlooked before. Something that maybe didn't make sense. Boom! Now it makes sense.
yeah, yeah. I man, I for me it's I mean, I've only just found out about it last month, and better late than never, man. Because the way I understand it, I think that the thing that it really shows me is the danger of worshiping the deity, man. You know, that jumps out. I think I have a heavy burden to talk about deity worship, idolatry, and I'm kind of like a young pony, man, out of the barn, going a thousand different directions at once because and I a lot of days I don't sleep because I can't get out of it. It's just too much, man. It's like a miracle for me, but how it exposes deity worship is that's like the beginning for me, and I think it's a miracle, man. You know, I don't even know how it's even legal to have it in the false god's kingdom. Let me ask you this: who is the false god now? Is it still Luamong?
Oh
Is he
no,
still the
Lumong
or
and
is it
all the false gods got
Baal or
uh,
Ash?
they all got taken off to a different heaven far removed from the earth, so they can't get back to it. And what they'll be doing in that part that they set up for them is they're going to be reteaching about Creator. Now, there will be a time when all those false gods come back to Earth to have to reteach about Creator.
Ah, ah. So who's over who? So who's here now?
Uh,
What? Who? Who is the false
the
god?
the false gods that are here now are those who escaped uh, from the downfall of each of their kingdoms, such as Lu Mong's kingdom, Hapsendi, and Edishong's uh, heavenly kingdom, and God Gabriel's false kingdom of what is it, Calhorid. Uh, those that escaped from there are today's false gods. And there may have been some that split off from them and started stuff like Scientology.
Man, that's super interesting, man. So when I read about the false gods that got away, they came back. You're saying,
Yeah, the
huh?
false gods that get away are just mimicking their predecessor, like Luamon. So he'll just take on the name Christ. Buddha will take on the name Buddha, or whoever their real name is. They'll take on the name Brahma, right? Some of them will even take on the name Jehovah. You see,
So is
there's
that is it?
they'll even pretend to be the creator, but they're not anywhere near like the creator because in their actions, they're all egotistical and they're all very human like. So you know that
Oh,
they were one time humans.
so the leaders of this present reality, they are under. Would you say that they are under false gods?
Oh, yeah.
So that's really fascinating, man. So you say, do you believe that the false gods are still indigenous to the kingdoms that their forefathers were given in the creation of the earth, at the divisioning of the earth? I think that's spoken about in the Book of Jehovah. I think it talks
Uh,
about it talks about the geopolitical. It talks about the sectioning of the
I
earth.
think
They were given different parts of the earth. The first gods, the righteous gods, before there
uh,
was
I
these.
I think the false gods go over and try to create heavens over these countries and continents, and try to garner followers from there.
Uh
That's what I think. But true God, uh, those that follow true God, they know the false ones. They can tell the difference, and they won't have anything to do with them. The false gods, that is.
the true gods, the true gods. So you're saying that the true gods are here, and they know the
Yeah,
false.
there's only one true God, and that's the God that does what Creator says to do when He says to do it.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
And like Brother Cosmon Cal says, uh, it's a female goddess. I don't think I can even pronounce her name.
Enocrissa.
Shepmotis Enthus, something like that. Anyway, you pronounced it uh, on your show a couple days ago.
um, Enocrissa. It's not Enocrissa.
Anyway, that's the goddess of the Cosmon era, and that's whose gardens we're going into, or have been into since OAHSPE was published.
Uh-huh. So some of them got away, and they were able. I mean, they're still here. Then the ones that got away are still here.
Oh yeah,
Asenath says Inanna. Inanna. I never heard of Inanna. So, hey, Dave, based on your according to your understanding, the spirits that pass on, what
yeah.
does that what does that mean? They stay in the first resurrection.
Those that believe in creators might stay in the first resurrection for maybe 2 or 3 days, and then they'll move on to the second resurrection and keep on working like they were working, on Earth. But they'll be learning and working at the same time. Uh, there's a whole chapter about that called the Book of Divinity. It starts out, it was written during the time of Zarathustra, but it's much like that still today. The, we'll be, we're graduating from elementary school to high school and then to college, you see.
But faithists, what's the difference between faithists and people who are Uzians when they
Well,
pass?
the Uzians, they follow the world. They follow false religions. They make their God, and government says this, and they'll do it. Like that, what is it? I don't know if I can even say it on your channel without you getting dinged or something. But that pandemic, all right?
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what you're talking. Yeah.
They'll follow all that stuff, and
Oh, yes, yes. You got that right, man. You got that right. I mean, I'm telling you, the things that are going on, and to see how people, the way they think, the way they fall in line. I mean, it is amazing to me, especially
well,
with,
they do that because of fear. They're
yeah,
afraid.
yes,
So
yes,
when some of these technological companies come up with chips and stuff, and say, well, we'll put all your brains on a chip, and then you won't ever die. A lot of them people going to take that chip. Not
yeah,
me.
yeah. So you make me think of a good question, man. You make me think of a good question. Is artificial technology our friend or enemy?
Well, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Just like anything. Anything that was ever invented has got good uses and it's got bad uses. Take when man made fire, right? You can use fire to warm yourself. You can use it to cook your food. That's the good applications of fire. Now, the bad applications of fire is, well, you can burn down your neighbor's house with it and you can burn their crops. You see what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
ain't the
yeah,
fire in
yeah,
itself that's bad, it's how man decides to use it as to whether it's good or bad. Same with
yeah,
technology.
yeah, yeah. Huh. Very. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. What do you think? Now, the second part of my question was, and unless I missed it, forgive me if I missed it. What is the difference between Uzians and Faithists in when we cross over?
Well, faithists believe in Creator, and our uh, Ashars will take us to our ASAS, and the ASAS will scoot us right on through up to uh, the second resurrection heavens.
Yeah, that's why I understand it. That's why I understand it.
Now
As far,
the Asians, it all depends on what they believe. If they believe in Jesus, well, they'll go to whatever heaven the Jesus is in. And there's a whole bunch of them. There's like Methodists, Episcopalians, Catholics, uh, Mormons will probably go to the Moroni God guys, Moroni angels heaven or his heaven or whatever,
So let me
and
ask you this. Let me
they'll go
think.
to wherever they believe. Now, atheists that don't believe in anything, they'll just kind of like blank out for a while, but they'll keep waking up and try to figure out, what's going on because they're dead and they didn't believe nothing, so they'll fall asleep again. About the same way with those that are waiting for Gabriel to come along and blow a trumpet, right?
Right.
They keep waking up and then they fall back asleep into like a comatose state, but they'll wake up again, you know, maybe every once in a while, and that trumpet ain't sounded yet, ain't time yet. Back to sleep it goes, you know.
So if that's, for a lot of people, that'll probably be cool with them, if they're a Christian and their life was all right, then they may never want to leave that that type of spirituality,
Well,
whether they were Methodist or Mormon or,
just for the heck of it, I looked on some of these Christian programs, and some of them had Christians who had near-death experiences. All right.
uh
Well, and usually they go to hell. All right, and then
yeah.
Jesus brings them out of there.
Yeah.
Right, and they go talk to Jesus and God, right, which is
uh
probably the false God creator. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see all through that because OAHSPE tells you creator doesn't sit on a throne.
yeah.
So I'm kind of like there's a difference between the videos that I would give you. I wouldn't give you anything like a Christian NDE thing that says uh, uh, I went to hell and Jesus brought me out of it, and when I saw the Father and he set me on the right hand side of him on the throne or whatever. I wouldn't
uh
do anything like that. The video that I did give you, this fella Vincent, right? You notice he says creator. He doesn't say God. And when he met his guide, whose name was Drake, he asked him, "Are you God?" And the guy said, "No, I'm just Drake. I'm your guide." Yeah. Do you remember
Drake.
that?
Drake? Who?
Yeah,
Drake?
Drake.
Great. Who? Now, what? Say the name again. Who is what?
Nah, that's on the video that I posted on your.
Yeah. Who is that? Drake.
Okay. Come to find out, he asked his grandmother who Drake was, and it was his great great grandfather.
Run it by me again.
Uh, he asked who Drake was. Right?
Uh huh.
He seen a picture of the guy, but the guy's name said Charles, right, instead of Drake. So he asked his grandmother, who had the same last name, and she said, "That's your great great grandfather, Drake. His name was Charles, but he always went by Drake."
I don't get it.
I don't know. You have to go back and listen to the video, and that's it. I'm going to say just before the end.
Yeah, I saw that name Drake, but I don't think I was paying that much attention.
Yeah, that was his great great grandfather's as a guide.
Okay. And where did the grandmother come in again?
The grandmother's still alive, and He saw a
Oh,
picture, right, an old photograph,
uh-huh.
right, of Drake, but it said the name was Charles, right, which was his given name,
Oh,
but he never went by that. He went by Drake, and that's
whoa.
what his grandmother said.
Now I remember reading where it says that it was our relatives that was going to help us learn to live in the spiritual. Is that right?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
That's interesting, man. Look what she posted. Asana, you were talking about the Christians will go to their God and the we were talking about the difference between Uzians and Thetists when they cross over. Micah 4:5, for all people will work everyone in the name of his God, and we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever. See, that's what I love, man. I love it. The OAHSPE. Now I can read the scriptures on a way another level, man. I mean, I'm telling you, a lot of days I don't even sleep. I just kind of fall out and I wake up again. you know, I just feel like a new puppy, man, in this. I feel like I finally have been brought out of jail. I've been set free. And the problem is that seeing how strong deity worship is. And the interesting thing is seeing the government and the things they do that you tend to think that you're the one that's crazy because you don't follow along with everything they're telling you to do. And truly, I my mind when the Big C came out, I have to code it. The Big C, you know what I mean? 2019, the jab, and I think that was I just well, I think the thing that really saved me is just I'm retired now. I'm handicapped. I can't work, but I would have retired anyway by this time. And just being able to be at home and look and see what's going on in the world. And then that thing came out, and uh, I just it just seemed like the father, man, just my Ashard, just looking back at my life, man, it's protected me. And I think even so, when I was in deity worship, let me ask you a question: do you think those under false gods that what's the problem? I mean, don't there are shards? Why do I mean do are shards assigned to even people who worship deities?
Uh, Not our ashars are not assigned to him. Uh,
Okay.
the false god will assign guardians over them.
Oh, okay.
Their
Okay.
false lords and gods will assign uh, uh, guardian angels on them, and they'll think it's a guardian angel because it's going right along with what their uh, whatever their religious work says. Whether it's the uh, Bible or whether it's the Book of Mormon or whatever. The God from that heaven will assign somebody to watch out for them, and that's kind of like how we have such a hard time getting through to our brothers, Hebrew Israelites, on some of these debates because they're trying to come up with something and they can't really combat the truth, so they try to attack the author of the book. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Brother Shelik and Brother Cosmon, Brother Malachi, uh, the, they can either any of them can attest to that. And you can even see it yourself on the debates if you go to one of them and just kind of like skim through it, because some of these debates are long, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. So you can skip around and then you can find where they're attacking the author, JBN, instead of
Yeah.
trying to come
Yeah.
up with their uh,
Yeah.
counter from their book.
Yeah. I've noticed that. So there are brethren who are under deity worship and they get broken free and come under another Ishar, a righteous Ishar.
When they if they stop and think about things, because we've had some brothers, start listening to our channel kind of like in secret, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have some brothers and sisters that listen to our broadcasts in secret, such as Brother Seela's The Vibes and Cosmin Cal's Jehovah Chronicles. Uh, some of those others will come in there in the chat, right? Some of them just don't say nothing. They just watch the video, right? And
Yeah.
some of them start agreeing with the video, right? Then
Yeah.
some of them they just get away from their uh,
Yeah.
formal organization and come join us.
Yeah. Yeah. This
And
truth.
this is what is good about the debate. Uh, to my way of thinking, if even one or two of them does that, you know, it's well worth the 4 or 5 hours
Yeah.
of listening to it.
Yeah. This truth, it's just too powerful. I mean, especially when you look at the OAHSPE from the standpoint of killing and murder. To me, that's the one of the biggest things that exposes the Bible, at least for me at this stage, that makes the Bible pretty. It makes the Bible pretty undefendable. That is one thing that nobody will be able to defend or escape is the violence, the attitude of violence. And something, I read something that was really interesting. I talked to somebody and they had a problem with a new thing. And then I was given an answer in the OASPE about how, basically, I have to paraphrase it because I can't remember where it's at, where the creator, he said that in order to deal with man's spiritual elevation, there needs to be greater light from time to time. And that's a big problem in the world today because people stay stuck on a level. They get comfortable with deity worship. They don't want to hear anything new. And the old food is just not sufficient for faithists. And what I mean by old food is the old spirituality, the traditionalism that we have been under, and the OASPE's response to, I mean, the OASPE's response to traditionalism, what I call it, which is really just religion, and people left behind because of the inability to mutate, so to speak, is a big deal, a big miracle to me.
Well, this
So,
is where that I asked you if you understood about the crystal children and the rainbow children. You see, the old ones are going to die off, and then they're going to go to their false gods. The newer generations, the crystal children and the indigo children and the
yeah,
rainbow children that are coming up, they're not going to follow along with their father's gods. They're going to be seeking and searching things that make sense. When they come
yeah.
across the waspy, then it's going to make a lot of sense.
So you think that the hippie movement, the the hippie movement, that they were the faithists, that they were unsatisfied with the the answers of the reality of that day, and they were expressing a spiritual need that they can only express by acting out and acting
Not
tough.
the Rainbow Children and the Rainbow Kids of the last generation, or you might say the hippies. Uh, no, they're two different groups.
Yeah, yeah. I was trying to be funny, but I mean, it seemed to be, I mean, looking at that time that the soul, the spirit was trying to express itself and was hungry for some enlightenment that, you know, it was saying it was starving, but, that's just my own thought. But, you know, I mean, sometimes people, they can be, their behavior, is really saying something else that has to do with something spiritual that's not being addressed at the time. That's how I look at it. I don't mind. But I um, what do you um, what do you perceive? I mean, you know about 2048, right, Dave? You know about 2048.
Oh yeah.
What do you think? What do you see?
Like I said, I haven't really done any real studies on it, but things just got to keep getting better and better for Faithists, and the Uzzians, they're going to eventually go down.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's one of the things I seem to pick up with the OAHSPE, man. That's what I tell. I got a brother. He 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 found me last year because I was sharing the Third Testament. Third Testament's got a lot of good. It's got a lot of good information in it too, but it's not on the level of the OAHSPE. And I was sharing it with him, and he broke off from me. He broke off from me, you know. And he was promising his eternal love to me in the sense that I was complaining that all these friends that I make and they just come and go, man. They just come and they go. Brothers and sisters, man. They swear up and down, man. I appreciate you for what you've done and what you're doing. I'm gonna stay with you forever. And they always leave. They always go, man. And it just hurts me so bad. And I forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot the point that I was gonna bring out. But I forgot. It had something to do with the separation of energies, I think, where I see atheists, or not atheists, but Uzians and faithists, I see a separation, it seems like. Just like you said, getting better and better and better for Uzians, or for faithists, and getting worse and worse for Uzians. It seems like that's who the creator is. He don't violate your free will, man. You know, he just let you have to decide on your own, whether or not you want to elevate or whether you don't want to. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, yeah. Either you elevate or you stagnate.
That's a good, yeah. Either you elevate or you stagnate. Yeah. So that makes the world so much clearer to see. The world has got a serious problem with free will, what it means. I mean, the part that um, where the OSCE talks about war, that blows my mind. How we cannot resist, we cannot fight. So that's why I look at April 8th. I look at April 8th as something. To me, it means something, man. You know, I believe I hope it means the a change in our energetic or energy reality. I really, you know, I hope that he puts a witness in our hand that will make short work of the kingdom, the children of the Uzians, because we can't go on much longer like this. I mean, something's got to give with the violence. I know that, to go back to something you said, reading in the OAHSPE, I read where it says somewhere that the Drooks, they always overrun the Faithists, man. Like gardens, like weeds in a garden. And if we ain't close to being overran, if we're not there already, what do you think?
Well, they really can't do a whole lot to us. Uh, how's that old saying go? That which doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah. I was in a bookstore once, and it was a Negro bookstore, and somebody wrote a book called "What Doesn't Kill Me Makes Me Blacker." And I love the rawness of it. But yeah, I think that's spiritual principle. You know, pearl is made by a clam, which is friction, makes a
Well,
pearl. I
for
think
myself, as a faithist in Creator, uh, Creator going to take care of me either way.
yeah,
Whether I'm still walking around in the physical body or corporeal form, or whether I'm in spirit. If I'm in spirit, boom, I'm just going to go up to the second resurrection and keep right on going.
that's what I think. That's how I understand the OASPE. That's like foundational. That's what keeps me going.
Yeah, that's
It's not like religion, man, where you always wondering where you stand, fearing and what's gonna happen to you. The devil with a pitchfork and jabbing you in your behind when you leave here. you know. But anyway, bro, I'm gonna close the video. And Dave, man, I'm gonna rely on you, man. I hope that you can make my lives. I try to do them every day. I try
I
to
uh,
do.
I try to show up every day for you, but like I said, I can't really promise anything because I don't know what I'm going to be doing from one day to the next.
Right, right.
But so
Well,
far, I've been lucky enough to be able to catch you, and hopefully, same way in the future, I'll be here. Hopefully,
well,
like I say, can't promise anything.
if you decide to leave, man, you got to take me with you. you ain't leaving. You ain't leaving me here, man. I'm telling you right now.
So,
So
like I say, I'll do my best to catch your videos and make my presence known.
yeah, I really appreciate you, man, because I know I'm gonna make a lot of mistakes in my overstanding, and I really want to share. I don't want to poison anybody. I'm gonna need help. Um, and I appreciate your demeanor, your spirit. So I hope that you can, help me to grow up. And so,
Well, I'll do the best I can, help you out as much as I can, as much as I know I'll share. So,
good,
peace,
good. I'm
brother.
glad.
You have a
All
good day now.
right. Okay. Shalom. Bless you. Peace and light, man. Peace and light. All right, man. That was my brother Dave. Man, oh man, oh man. So anyway, brethren, thank you for joining me in my video. And get used to the new Yaquab Israel channel, man, because if I see a brother come in, I'm going to try to snag him and make him get on the mic and talk, or really anybody, man. This is going to turn into an interactive channel where somebody wants to talk about a subject, then we're going to turn from what I'm doing to what the person or the brother with the question, or we're going to discuss it. It'll probably turn into a dialogue. And so that's how I want to run this channel from now on. So, brethren, thank you for joining me. Want to give thanks to Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, for this opportunity to be a light while I'm in this reality, and pray that we are all accounted worthy, man, to escape the things coming on the earth. And until I see you again on video, peace and light and grace be to all you, brethren. And until I see you again, shalom.